community and getting ready for that. She can hit the ground running in a very complicated world where she can pick up the phone and call anyone because she knows them and has worked with them. This is a woman who has been completely vetted. We know the good, the bad, the ugly about Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. That is not true of my dear friend Bernie Sanders. And I assure you that there is a book that they're doing on him and things that probably we don't even know. Fear is their friend, and they, I suspect, will find ways that they will try and tear Bernie Sanders down. I believe that Hillary Clinton will be a progressive leader for this country, and I think Bernie has helped her be more of that even than during this presidential race, and that she will continue that. So, you know, when I think about a woman being president of the United States, this woman being president of the United States, my heart beats a little bit faster, and yes, I am excited, and I urge you to support Hillary Clinton for president. Thank you. First time, I just want to thank you so much for that endorsement. Your support here in New Trier Township, Dean Maragos, all of you, it really means so much to me, so thank you. Tammy Duckworth is a great friend of mine and an American hero. And most of you know the story. Though, how many of you were at the New Trier annual dinner? Okay, so that was one of the greatest speeches I think I ever heard made by a candidate. Her life story, which is so much more than being shot down in a helicopter in Iraq, being pulled off the battlefield, her commitment to the idea that we leave no one on the battlefield, but also that we leave no one on the battlefield of life in the United States of America. And she talked very frankly about her background. And I think what people bring with them to Congress and their worldview when they make decisions depends a lot on where they come from. Tammy grew up in Hawaii. She was in a middle-class family until her father, at 55 years old, lost his job, and they plummeted into poverty. They were dependent, and she says it's a blessing, on food stamps that were available that still didn't really cover what they needed. Her father would actually return shopping carts at the supermarket for 10 cents a cart in order to try and put a little bit of food on the table. Tammy would bring home an apple so that her brother or her parents might have something to eat. And there were nights that she went to bed hungry. And Tammy is the product of what government can do to give people a hand up, and proudly talks about that. The kind of scholarship she got to be able to go to school. The military, who gave her an opportunity in so many different ways. And this is a woman who can do anything. When Tammy was running for Congress the first time, after losing her leg, she lost. But she stood up again on those amazing, one is khaki and one is American flag legs of hers now, metal, and said, I'm going to still serve my country. She became head of the Veterans Affairs in Illinois, went to Washington to the Department of Veterans Affairs, and then she said, yes, I'm going to run again. I'm going to try again for Congress. And this time, she was able to run. Meantime, she was working on her PhD, which she got right after she was elected to Congress. And now she's running for the United States Senate, and she just had a little baby. I mean, I'm telling you, the woman can do anything. And with great spirit and great coalition building and great outreach to all different communities. This is an amazing woman. It is a privilege of me to speak for her, and I think we would be privileged to have her as our United States Senator. Thank you so much.
Lifelong Democrat, someone who's worked on Democratic campaigns now, I'll say it since the 80s. we all know how much time and how much emotion and how much blood and how much sweat we put into these campaigns. And so I thank you for coming out today on a chilly, chilly day. This seat has been in play now for 6 years. We've all invested a lot of time, and we've all worked hard on behalf of our candidates. And I'm here to tell you that it's time to get the right candidate in this seat, winning this seat in November, and holding this seat in 2018. I don't know if many of you know my background. I grew up in the district. My economics degree, my undergraduate was from Stanford. I have an MBA from Northwestern, a law degree from the University of Chicago. I worked for General Motors in finance for a few years, and then became an attorney and worked with McDermott, Will & Emery in healthcare for about 8 years. I bring a professional background, understanding finance, understanding law, but more importantly, I bring decades of activism dedicated to access to healthcare, the environment, education, equality, the issues that really matter to each of us. I was asked to run for this office in 2011. I had just become the mayor of Highland Park, and it was a tremendous honor to be asked, but at the time it was important that I do that job as mayor. I've had the opportunity now to be in office for 7 straight years. I've been in elected office for 7 years, and I've worked hard on behalf of my constituents, whether it's taking on ComEd when the power was out, or working most recently against the NRA, making sure that assault weapons were no longer able to be brought into Highland Park, and providing the model ordinance for our country. As a mayor, I've balanced 5 consecutive $85 million budgets, and I've preserved the AAA bond rating of our city, something only a handful of cities can claim at this point. But I've also made human services a huge priority.